Before I start my conversation video with the member where I explain how to get started, a lot of people will ask me, do you have more in detail video about how to get started with IT career? Now, to answer that question, it's a pretty big thing, so I have already created a detailed video on that, and I'm going to share this link of this video, how to start IT career with no experience, with screencast recording and things like that. You will see a lot of information. I will put that in the description. So let's get started with the member video. Hey everyone, this is Danish from jobskillshare.org. I'm standing in front of my beautiful new laptop. As you guys can see, I will talk about this laptop a little later, but today I want to talk about a conversation between me and my member, I want to share this information because so many people are in the same situation. So rather than sharing all the information with just one member, the thing about this is job skill sharing. So we try to share all this information with other people, so then they will be also in the same situation and kind of take advantage of this conversation. So it is a learning video, and it is going to be a lot of talking. So if you're coming straight from some other place or YouTube or anywhere else, this is a talking video where people will learn specifically about things that they're confused about. So what is this video about? This video is about someone coming to platform or taking courses, and they want to become an IT person, professional IT person, like working in a corporate environment where it's a building, have servers and everything, not just normal home type of IT or just like a single, one small place. I'm talking about pretty big environment or mid-size, and you just want to become that IT pro, and now you're confused. Now here's the details about this member. I'm not going to share the email address for privacy reason, but I'm going to share what this member is actually talking about. This member's when the first email came in, this member is saying that first email that he's about 40, and he nearly spent 20 years working on Windows environment. He have some basic IT knowledge, meaning he worked with his family and worked on websites, routers and things like that, but not in a way like in a big environment, like enterprise level environment, just on a small level. He also have Android software development thing going on, and so this guy is already a technical person, but not as technical like an IT professional. So this is where his questions came to me, and I responded. So now the first question he's asking, that he is saying that he wants to basically apply directly to a system admin position, which is going to be like a junior system level position, and he understand that people usually start from level 1, from like fixing computers and things like that, working with things like just normal entry level stuff, laptops and backups, and working with the users. So he's saying that he's not interested in that, but he has so much other knowledge that he can land a system admin job. Now my reply was this, that it's doable, but it's going to be hard. And this is where he says that he understands this, that this is going to be hard. So that's okay. If somebody says that, look, yeah, I understand the whole hardship behind it, I'm gonna go for it. Like I said, in IT, anything can happen then. So the second email that I sent him, the same response, that maybe you need to look into some type of external courses, like in other sites that do simulations and things like that. His response was this, that yes, I would love to become a junior system administrator. Sounds like I need to work on getting my MCSA certification. It would be great. On Udemy, I discovered 3 back-to-back courses. So he kind of sent me the course. They are pretty big courses, all videos, no labs. So then then I was like, okay, so a junior level position would be ideal for me. I wanted to ask you a few questions. So here's the questions. The video you kindly linked me, which I have not had a chance to watch, is that a training video or guide? So basically I sent him like a guidance video, not a training video. Since slowly people are moving their servers infrastructure to cloud, like using Amazon AWS services or Azure, is it better that I train on server 2012, or should I start with 2016? I told him that you should start with 2012 because so many people just moved from 2008 and 2003. There's going to be taking companies so much time to get to 2016. It just came out. So start with 2012 and then slowly move to the 2016. So then you will learn both. You may go to the company, they might be just migrating to 2016, or maybe they just migrated to 2012 and you need to be working on it for the next 4 years on 2012. So I recommended 12. Okay, last question that he asked in this email was for someone like me who is kind of perfectionist and detail oriented, wanted to know everything. I generally like to start a new field and science from the very basics and work my way up. Although I do have a fairly good understanding of networking, TCP/IP routing concepts, I am wondering if you believe for a newbie like me it would be helpful that I'm thinking of purchasing these MCSA exam training courses from Udemy. Do those courses teach anything on a level where I can learn and understand concept like a new student, or do they assume you already know a lot about networking and servers? Honestly, some of these courses are very fast-paced, so I don't know exactly. When someone asks questions like this, then it really depends on what is your basic understanding on infrastructure, like how the connections are coming to the server, like how there's probably like a wire coming from a network where it's going to the walls and then going to the building on the other end. There's the servers and how they're connected. It really depends on how solid your understanding is on that, because MCSA is a Microsoft course. They're focused on Microsoft servers. They're not focusing on how Cisco routers and other things are connected and all that stuff, what kind of connections you have and all that connection between each other. So that's another thing that you need to think about, and it depends on, if you don't know that, then what will happen is that you will finish MCSA, which is great, you will finish the servers and everything, but you will still be confused that there's something missing. Then I replied again, and this is his reply again. I guess traditionally most IT companies, IT data centers have had a physical local server box running some version of Windows Server and providing services to the connected clients. But I'm guessing that increasingly more of that traditional office network and services on the servers are being moved to the cloud. I would like to learn as much as I can about that and what technologies and services are included in that process. That way I can have a complete bridge formed in my mind to be able to handle any kind of need that company would require. Now, for you to give me a good example, I give you a good example is this, that look at these servers. These are all hardware based servers. They're taken out of in another room right there. They've been taken out and being replaced by a VMware server. Now remember, I'm going to talk about VMware in a second, but these are all hardware based, and this does not represent cloud here. This is another technology that we discussed. VMware virtualizations, or Hyper-V is another virtualization from Microsoft, that now all these hardware, we have taken that out from there. We don't need this anymore. We have put this in a virtual environment to save money and even better resources and backup and things like that. So to answer your questions, yes, that's true. But it's not just cloud, it's virtualization, and after virtualization a lot of people are moving to cloud now. That's really up to the companies. Smaller companies are already on the cloud, and bigger companies are doing like a mixed environment where they have hardware, they have VMware, they have cloud, everything all working together. So to answer your questions, yes, that's true. So relating to the above 2 points, what courses do you have to train someone to go from being a newbie Windows system administrator to a full-fledged professional who can handle anything thrown at him by his boss, including server backup recovery, possibly using disk imaging, blah blah blah? Okay, this is a good question right here. The way we teach in jobskillshare.org is reality. We want to teach you things that you have to deal with so many other things other than MCSA, and I was focusing that and kind of telling you that this is not just about MCSA. If you're thinking about becoming a Windows system administrator, think about what if the company is running the whole servers and domain environment on a virtual system, meaning let's say this is my VMware box. This is a big physical box, and all of the servers, the MCSA stuff, everything is inside of that box, but you need to know how to manage this box also. That's a different technology. That's VMware, that's virtualization. So now you need to know how to get into this stuff, how you need to troubleshoot this stuff. The way I teach and the way other people are teaching in this platform is not just one certification focused. It is a job focused training. So it's just not about servers here. We're going to teach you things what's outside of the servers to make you a complete IT professional. So this is the big difference between an MCSA. Now if you are going for MCSA certification, I strongly recommend it, because you have to still learn about what's inside that server, that VMware, that virtual server, and try to manage that and things like that. That you will learn from that certification in detail. So here's basically, I'm trying to figure out if for a newbie who is just started to learn about networking and servers, and that want to go from beginner to advanced expert level of knowledge and skills, if you believe that these 3 courses that I consider purchasing from Udemy would do the trick so I can land a job as soon as possible. Of course, I understand that Office 365 is another big item for companies these days, and blah blah blah. So in this email, I responded and I said, look, it is, if you're thinking about becoming an expert from these 3 courses, then that's not true. You're not going to become an expert from just taking a video courses. You need something to practice on. You need something in a device where you have a lot of resources where you can practice all of these things to say that I have the advanced skills. Now, another thing about advanced skills, when somebody uses this term, I tell them you cannot have advanced skills till you come and touch these things and work on it and come up with your own issues and fix them by doing your custom solutions and things. That's what I call advanced. Other than that, you will learn advanced skills, yes, true, from all these courses, but not from these MCSA courses, because they're all video based and all 3 of them are certification focused. Remember, they're not talking about VMware, they're not talking about Cisco, they're not talking about routers, they're not talking about all these things, connections. The bridge that you're talking about in your mind right now, that's not going to connect with this. So your advanced skills will feel a little empty because you will be missing all of these other things. So, alright, so this is where I recommended that, if you're training and you want to start a training, you should look into our free courses, which is Active Directory, Office 365, ticketing system. These are the normal day-to-day type of thing, and it doesn't matter if you are a help desk or a system admin. You could be working on Office 365 administration, and that's also a system admin job. You will be working on something very advanced, meaning emails are not working. You will be working with the Microsoft engineers, trying to figure out what's going on and on the servers, and they will probably want you to do something. So then again, it will be like a mixed kind of thing. So if you just focus on the servers, like a MCSA, just 2012 server, that's not going to actually give you everything here, because you will be missing a lot of things what system admins do on a real world in a real world scenario. So in this email, I recommended the same thing. It's not just about MCSA. That's a great training. You should do it because that will make your resume look good. But you need Office 365 migration, server, stuff like that. So he acknowledged that. And then here, since there are other concepts like virtualization, VMware, and cloud-related technologies, please be sure to list all those. As I know hardly anything about those. I just know the virtualization, when a computer virtually runs multiple operating systems in a sandbox, and blah blah blah. Okay, now of course I'm not gonna list everything in a video like this. This requires a full course now, but just to give you explanation, I have done that many times. That think of these physical servers right here. Take this out of your mind. Just put one of this. Let's just remove all of these bottom ones. Leave this one, and then virtually this has some type of operating system that now we can install all the operating system of these servers inside this one. So take this out. Imagine how much space do you save here, how much you can do with it. So of course, if I start listing everything that virtualization do, this video will never end. So you need to, at the end, I'm going to tell you where you need to go and do your training on virtualization. Okay. As mentioned, my laptop is a bit low on space. My main boot drive is 50 GB left, 50 GB, while secondary is 100. Okay, so he's asking that, can I do this MCSA training on this 12 GB RAM with 50 GB left? Not at all. 50 GB, I said that you need to upgrade, and he replied another email, so definitely you need something bigger, and I will explain that a little bit later in this video. But just go to the last email. So I explained the same thing in this video, that what virtualization is, and gonna give him what you need for your virtual environment, stuff like that. And here's the main thing that I want you guys to notice. So I guess that VMware is a kind of similar to virtualization of full network environment. Hyper-V does the same thing as VMware, I guess, so that's true. But here's a question for the moment: when using say VMware or Hyper-V, are you suggesting that the business enterprise cloud define not only one or more server, but also define multiple client systems within the same VMware virtual environment? Now, most of the time people will only virtualize servers, and the clients are actually connected. Like, for example, the wire will go through with the patch system and then go to the office, and you will have a laptop or a computer like that where you can see that patch right there. So you still are people are still using physical computers to do their work, but virtually they're connected to a server that is virtually running inside a VMware, a big server. Like, you understand that that's going to be a very powerful machine which is running the VMware or Hyper-V environment. So that's going to be really big and powerful with a lot of RAM and stuff like that. So and it is not just about running Microsoft servers on VMware. You can be running Cisco servers, you can be running Linux servers, you can be running web servers. A lot of things that can be virtualized can be run here. You can even do networking inside the servers. You can even put firewalls inside this virtual environment and things like that. So okay, now in this last email, now in my last email I explained that, and he replied, he acknowledged here the concept that he's talking about, that virtualization is, you know, you run servers on it and things like that. He's right. I'm not gonna explain that. I just explained that in a second ago, but I'm gonna focus on the bottom one right here, where it's gonna take you to where you need to spend money now. So I want to give you some suggestions. So he's saying that he does have a powerful laptop. He's going to just upgrade to 16 GB and put 250 or maybe 400 something SSD, and then he wants to know that if this is going to do like a trick for him by, you know, moving forward with the MCSA courses. Now, with your requirement, and you're saying that I was thinking of expanding this to 24 GB RAM. I'm going to give you an example here now in a second. But here's the thing: you can get away with MCSA only in this type of with this type of requirements. Now, the reason I say that is you have two options. Let's say, for example, this laptop is a $2,500 laptop. It has 1 TB SSD, 24 GB RAM. Now, I can do anything on a server end. I could put the whole MCSA course in this. Maybe I can create 2 domain controllers, 2 servers, and 2 extra servers, DHCP server, DNS servers. All of that stuff, I can do it right here. But here's the problem. In IT world, because you say that, will this training make me an IT pro? Will I be able to do anything if somebody tell me do this or do that as a server administrator? Now, that is just, like I said, going to help you with Microsoft environment, okay? It is not going to help you with how physically that server is getting a connection from a router then to a switch. You at least need to know the basic level of information of how that patch right there, the patch cable, how this is going back and connected where, and that connection is going to some kind of router or a switch. Then you need to know at least the basics of that. And how would you do that? For that, you will invest more money. Then you will come across a scenario or an issue where you talk about VMware, because now you're talking about learning a lot about servers. So you need something bigger now. You need something bigger where you can put servers in it. Now you have two options. You can delete your operating system, put a VMware host or Hyper-V in this or 2012 server, and then make this like a big virtual environment, your main server, and everything is inside it. Then that may help you, but again, you're going to come across the same issue where you're going to stuck in a place where you don't know how to do networking stuff, how to connect firewalls, how do you get that first connection from your ISP and then your firewall and then your routers ISP and firewall, however you want to do it. But you're going to get stuck in that environment, and this is where my courses, the reason I make these courses is to kind of clear that confusion right there. So before you spend this money, and this is not a selling point, this is something So how would you actually learn all of this, the things that I'm talking about? I know it's very confusing in the beginning, but like I said, it's not just about these 3 certifications, but where can you invest your money in a way that you don't spend like thousands of dollars after you do this process. This isn't, let's say you're saying this is going to cost you $500 to $600. That's $500 to $600 investment. Then I will say that, okay, after $500 to $600, I'm sure you're going to come across that other stuff, like now you need to learn about VMware, now you need to learn about some security stuff, now you need to learn about firewalls, routers, switches. Now that's more money. So this is where I kind of help people, where I have decided to, you know, make this process very easy for people, and there's no, you don't have to, like, you know, first invest like crazy amount of money to understand or check it out. So basically what you need to do is go to jobskillshare.org, and here when you click on membership, you will see 2 types of membership plus and premium membership. Membership plus is $30. When you pay that $30, what you will get is you will get access to the practice labs for 5 days, full access to almost 100 plus labs. That covers your MCSA, any scenario for that. MCSA stuff is covered, and then you will also see Cisco, Microsoft, Cisco, VMware, security stuff. All these labs are covered in this. So if you go to the practice IT labs, here's a what basically more than that is covered. This is just the main ones that we have. So when you have an account, when you, let's say, get the membership plus, and then 5 days trial that you have in this account, in this 5 days training, 5 days access to all the labs, you can actually test MCSA, CompTIA, any CompTIA certification, MCSA, hands-on practice. Now these are not to prepare you for exams, like, you know, you do like quizzes and stuff like this. Is actually a hands-on practice. So you have 1 year access to that if you want to upgrade. So imagine how much money you will be saving, not just on your, you know, making your computer go up to 24 GB. It will not help you with other stuff like routers and stuff like that. You will need to come across that. But again, I mean, if you're really interested in just doing MCSA, then even 16 GB will do a trick for you. You don't even have to go to 24 GB. If you want to go to 24 GB, MCSA is still perfect. I mean, you can really do all that stuff from there. If you are interested in knowing that, how do I learn, how do I become that from newbie to become that IT professional, and trying to learn the whole picture, then for that I recommend you to go to IT training here on the site. If you do IT training, like if you put your mouse on here and click on live, now this live right here, now this live training is designed for professionals interested in becoming an IT professional, or junior system administrators, or IT graduates, or current IT students, or anyone trying to change their careers to IT. And this is basically kind of going through what will be covered, and this is going to be live 5 sessions, and it depends, maybe we'll do more, because depending on your level, it's kind of like a custom training, looking at your skills, looking at where you need to be, you know, focusing on. So we may take out some of the basic stuff that you already know and put something that you need to know. So this is a very customized training designed for you to learn not only just servers inside the VMware, it's about the whole picture. So we teach the whole picture. Of course, no one can claim that we will teach you every single thing at expert level. No IT can do that. I mean, every IT person has to actually start working and become an expert in his own area. But in the beginning, it is the picture that a lot of people are confused right now. And this is why jobskillshare.org is doing so well, and people are landing jobs, because the way we teach is a little bit different than other people focusing on just certification, just focusing on one thing only. So we're trying to do the whole picture and then focusing on different areas. Hope this video is clear enough. I know it's a lot of you know, things in here. This is why it's so confusing in the beginning, that it's just going to be taking you guys some time to understand what we're talking about right now. And once you know this, all of this information is a gold. This was not there for us a few years ago. It is available now, so take advantage. Thank you. Now that you have watched my member conversation video for learning, and another video how to get started of IT career, Now it's the time for you to ask me, how do I really get started with the registration, and what do I do to actually start learning. So the first thing, you need to go to jobskillshare.org site, and then you will click on get membership. In the membership right here, now it's explained all these levels. So in free level, you can get to the free courses. You have almost a lot of courses for free, so many videos that you can even finish almost everything, like 90-80% of the things. But then let's say, for example, you want a certificate, or you want to access special courses and some special units, and also full access to for 5 days to all of these labs, 100+ labs. You can actually get the membership plus, which is the $30 lifetime. So you pay once and you get to access the labs, and I will show you that in a second. So basically, you will just go down here, okay, and you click on sign up. Oh, I didn't know it was a touchscreen. So you see right here, you have a very easy registration. You'll put your information in here, and you will click on create account. So as you can see, I created my account, and all I have to do is click on create an account. You'll just click it, and then this should give you access to the site. And now we are actually getting into the site. So as you can see, you're logged in right now. So from here, you can get to your dashboard if you click on it and go to the dashboard right there. This is where we share information with you. So in your dashboard, you can see any new information. It will be shared right here. So anything new, features coming soon, and then and if you're brand new, in that first video we have explained this course where you can get started from scratch, like a learning path. And then let's say, for example, you want to get that 5 days of trial labs. You can just click on labs right here. So now you can get the 5 days trial by buy now, or you can get the full 1 year access by buy now from here. I also suggest people to just go for the 5 days trial, just to see if you really like these labs. When you click on it, it will automatically give you access, and on the bottom you will see all the labs right here. So as you can see right now, this is a membership plus account that I just purchased. And as soon as you purchase and you go to your dashboard, click on labs, you will see your 5 days trial counter. It's going to go from day 1 to, it will say account expired at the end, and this is where you'll see your password and username for the lab. If you click here, it will open up the labs page. This is where you put username and password and the domain. So if you come here, everything is provided right here. And the labs, all the access that you have, Cisco, CompTIA, Microsoft, and all the way down to VMware, security labs, some custom labs, a lot of practice. So this is where I was explaining that you can do MCSA, and MCSA is just piece right here. There's so many other Microsoft courses with that 32 GB, but then you are going to get stuck with some of the like CompTIA security, networking, Cisco stuff, and this is where you're going to need another hardware stuff to invest on. So this is something that you need to think about, that are you able to invest that kind of money on hardware, or can you do something like this where you can have just one browser, username, password, and you have access to so much information for this much amount. So 5 days for you to test with $30 only. And if you feel like this is the best investment, then you can go for the buy now, and you make sure that you do the buy now option before your account get expired to get the automatic stuff going on. If this account get expired, then you have to contact support for you to get to this point then. So I'll put my username and password, and I'm going to go ahead and log in. And when you log in, you'll see the lab. Once you open up labs, you can see right here on the left side, it's a full access, full library access. Any new labs that gets added to this lab environment, we just automatically add it. So here you go, you got Cisco 101, all the certification based labs. And remember, these are not book type of certification. This is mostly practical. So let's say, for example, you're going for A+, or let's say MCSA. So we're going to go down here, and you're looking for something Microsoft certification, working on 7410 right here. So if you click on it, and once you click on it, you can see you can get started with the lab right here. So all you have to do is to click on the first lab. You will have all the information about the lab on the left side, and right here on the right side you will see all the servers. So you can see DC1 domain controller is already there, domain controller, all other servers right here, Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, and on the right side you will see the screen of the lab. And once the lab is started, then you can just go ahead and get started. Now this is where you save the money basically. So we're talking about a server having 8 gigs of RAM, add gigs of RAM, 8, 2, 4, whatever it is. You have one full instant of a lab right here. This means you can use so many other labs. The benefit of this is you have 60 minutes right here, which you can reset by just clicking on this. You can see you can reset back to 60. This is a big thing when you work in a lab environment and when you learn things as an IT professional. One of the drawbacks of having a server like this, either you have to come up with a really good solution to do like some kind of restores quickly, and that will be on a virtual environment, but still you have to do so much to create something from scratch again and again, because the domain controller and the stuff like that, you will need that only once or twice, but it's after that skills that you have to learn what do you need to do, how to connect things. This is the time that is going to help you in a big way, where you can just come and say, you know what, I'm going to reset the whole environment again, and I want to do something special inside like a DNS or something like that, and I want to keep practicing it again and again because I can reset it like that in a few seconds. This is the biggest advantage of having labs like this on a web page and having just a laptop with internet connection, and you have access to about $40,000 to $30,000 right there in front of you. When I say $40,000 to $30,000 plus, I'm talking about so much information, so much resources like this. You have so many labs with a different type of resources, and some of them are actually running on a real devices like the routers and Cisco switches and stuff like that, real devices being used, and even you can go down with the VMware stuff where you need a whole environment for VMware. VMware cannot be just, you cannot just install it on this one laptop and you think that that's going to be enough for you in a VMware training. You actually need a lot of other stuff for VMware to work. So make sure you get to these labs and just do your own research. You know, the amount of money you will be spending on the hardware like this and the amount of money you'll be spending on these labs, it will make sense to anyone who wants to become an IT professional. So the rest is just simple. The same way you get the membership, once you click on it, it'll tell you what level you're on. You'll have free and current. This should just say current. There's a little bug in there. And if you think that any member think that, you know, you want the hands-on, you know, sometimes even these labs will not help you. You just want someone to go with you each and every step and quickly, like let's say 5 days or 10 days, you want to cover everything from scratch to become a real professional. And then you just click on this little IT training and click on live training and then register for this training, and this is where we go and email and ask you questions, and you know, kind of like know you better, you know, where your skills are, and customize training based on your needs, and then give you labs, all access labs for 1 year, and then pick the labs from these labs and practice with you till you become that IT pro. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this video clears a lot of confusion. Go to jobskillshare.org, get the membership, and get started.